Can we make a bonsai that is extremely cheap? I bought this tree for $2 in a garden center. Basically it's a cutting with 2 trunk lines and a few branches. I placed it in a bonsai pot about a year ago and that's it. So let's see, in this video we'll apply bonsai techniques to it and see if we can make something with a time span of perhaps a year or 2. I bought this little tree at a local garden center. It's a very cheap tree, but it's a challenge to make anything that appears like a tree out of this small bush. But let's see if we can do it. I think it has some bonsai potential, but let's see. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure which tree species this is, but it looks to me very much like Juniperus squamata, so a little bit like a needle juniper, but I'll have to get back to you about that later on. For now, today, there's 2 things I want to do with the tree. I want to place it in a bonsai pot with good soil because this weighs absolutely nothing, it's just air. So it needs good soil to develop. And I'll also make a few large cuts to establish the main design in the tree. But my plan is not to prune everything, wire everything, and also put it in a bonsai pot. I think it's just too much to go in one turn. So today, pruning, establishing the main shape of the tree and putting it in a bonsai pot. But let's begin with figuring out where the first roots appear for this plant. So what I actually do is just take a scissor and take a good top part of this plastic pot off so that we can see where those roots appear. By taking that top layer of soil off, we can now really look into the tree. I think it does have some potential. I was thinking about making it a cascade or semi-cascading tree, but actually if you take this as the front, I think this might be just like a nice little show-in tree. So let's go for that. For now, there's 2 larger cuts that I want to make, and the most important one is this branch. So I'll actually use my concave cutter and take this branch out. That's one, and the other one is on this side of the tree. So we'll need to prune quite a bit more, but for now let's do that, and I'll take you up a bit more close up. You can see what I'm looking at here. Styling a bonsai tree and applying these sort of techniques correctly is one of the most difficult parts in creating a bonsai tree. You can check out our YouTube channel for videos about these techniques, but perhaps also consider enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. Here, expert teachers explain all the relevant techniques in detail, and as a student you can also ask questions directly to the teachers. Each of our online bonsai courses have free previews available in the curriculums. Simply go to bonsaiempire.com/courses. Okay, I think for today that's all the pruning we'll do. So we have the option now to detail wire and prune a bit more and put it away, or to put it in a bonsai pot. I don't want to do everything at the same time. So I think for now, since this weighs literally absolutely nothing, it's important that we put this tree in good soil. So I'm going to repot it next and then not do any more pruning or wiring. We'll just leave it be, recover, and 6 months from now we'll do the second step with this tree. Using chopsticks, I'll just take off the old soil. And then I have a few pots in mind that I can actually show you already now. I just brought a few small pots that in terms of color and shape will be a nice match to the tree. So I'll first work on the roots a bit more and then figure out what pot is the best option. But actually I think that this might be the one to go for, but let's see. Today it's fall, which is an excellent time to work on trees because they slow down for winter and they will take off again in spring. So good time to work on these sort of trees. It's a strong tree. I wouldn't say it's very useful for bonsai, but this is the cheap material, so this is what we're working with today. So the goal of this video is to show you that bonsai doesn't need to be expensive. Like I said, $2 or $3 you can get these really young plants. You do need a bit more patience working with these trees. Yeah, basically you get what you pay for, unless you're lucky. But in this case, I think you get what you pay for. Studying the tree and looking at it from all sides, like I said, the trunk line is basically split in two with a very big old part of the trunk here. So this could be a potential front where you use one of these two as the new trunk leader and the other as a main branch. So that could be like this, or it could be like this. We have to decide. And then this could be a back branch if we manage to bend it down. It's quite thick and strong. If we can't bend it very well, we can't reuse this section and can make a bold area here so we can keep the wood, but don't use any foliage, which looks like an old tree, basically, like old parts in a tree. First up though, I'll show you a close-up shot of rotating the tree around, and then I'll start with pruning. So any material that you buy and you want to work at home, you first want to clean up the tree. So get rid of anything that's dead or dangling or very unhealthy growth. In this case, I don't think there's too much, but there's a lot of these growth tips. So this part of the tree is very full. So I am going to remove a bit of that. Alright, so now that you have seen the tree close up and with a spin around, I think the best option to go for is to use the slightly thinner branch as the new trunk line. You can bend it around, it's in a nice position. That would make this a back branch if we can bend it, and this a first branch. But using this as a first branch, we'll have to reduce a lot of this foliage because it's way too heavy right now, and we want to develop the new trunk line. This will have to thicken up. So I'll start with that.
Before continuing, I'd like to show you our brand new Bonsai Care app. The app provides tree species specific information for all your trees, and it can set smart reminders to optimize the care for your bonsai. It is available for free in the app stores.
Okay, we're done wiring the tree. Most of the branches have been wired. That is convenient because if you want to start shaping the tree, the moment you bend down one branch, all the other branches look out of position. So usually when you start shaping a bonsai, you'll find out that you will have to wire almost every branch to come up with a nice end result. I think there's one thing that I wanted to discuss with you. We'll set the branches in position next, but there's two apexes right now. We'll have to make a decision which one to use as the apex and which one to prune or use as a side or back branch. So actually I think with this being the front of the tree, with this big back branch on the back side, so that makes this the front. I think this one might be the nicer new front of the tree. It's slightly thinner than this branch, but it's positioned a little bit more towards the viewer. So that would mean that we'll bend this down in this direction probably and use this as the new apex. I'll take you close up, but I wanted to give you one tip as well when making these bends. All these flexible branches are very easy to bend, they won't break. But if you bend a slightly larger branch, like for example here, or you want to make a more extreme bend, then make sure that you use your finger and really bend over your finger, so that protect the inside of the branch as well. And by bending over your finger, you spread out the force of the bend on a larger section of the branch, so you prevent it from snapping. Another thing you can do once you have wired these branches, you can change the position down or up or left or right. But you can also add a bit of movement into the branches by giving it slight like S-curves. That gives it a bit more natural view. Straight, thin branches just look very young. If you add a bit of movement, that just looks a lot nicer.
Learn how to create your own bonsai trees by enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. We explain techniques like pruning, wiring and repotting, and you can ask questions to the teachers. For the curriculums and free lessons, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.